Right. For anyone who has wandered in late, which is nobody, excellent. We are here because four allegedly serious men voluntarily chose to spend 1 hour forming a new wave band with a cheap keyboard, a drum machine whose three settings are all apologies, and enough obsolete jackets to clothe a failed regional tour. We write one unnecessary song, perform it once to this entirely empty room, then break up before anybody suggests merchandise.
That is the cleanest contract I've encountered all day. No civilization rescued, no governance model, no album quietly hiding behind the single. 1 hour, one song, one performance, immediate artistic death. Ideally, with a bitter disagreement nobody remembers correctly.
I noticed that I'm already tempted to ask how strictly we define one song.
And that is why you're on keyboards rather than management.
There's a red kitchen timer on the amplifier. 58 minutes and 12 seconds remain. I'm stating that as atmosphere, not oversight.
You managed to make a countdown feel like a medical consent form.
I can turn it face down.
No, leave it. Every new wave band needs one object implying the building might evacuate.
What is the building?
Good question.
Oh, for God's sake, fine. The shared holodeck takes the suggestion personally. Around them rises the basement of a municipal ice rink after closing, low concrete ceiling, scarred rubber flooring, pipes sweating overhead, and a long interior window looking onto an empty sheet of ice under half the usual lights. 4 folding chairs face no audience. A vending machine hums beside a trophy cabinet containing silver cups for forgotten junior leagues. Somewhere beyond the walls, refrigeration machinery produces a patient industrial moan in B flat.
Now that is a room. Cold, ugly, faintly institutional. Smells like wet wool, old coffee, and somebody's childhood defeat.
The window is fogged around the edges. The instruments have been set up on rubber mats, where rental skates would normally be piled. Nothing appears dangerous except the jackets.
Cole, you've inspected the imaginary basement.
Only until it held us.
Fair, I recognize that sentence.
I would like the silver jacket with the narrow shoulders.
Strong opening move. It makes you look like an accountant sent back from 1983 to prevent dancing.
That may be closer to my natural stage presence than anything I could deliberately invent.
I'm taking the maroon one with too many zippers.
There are 12 zippers and no pockets. It's clothing designed by someone who understood access but not storage.
I feel seen in an unhelpful way.
Black leather for me. Cracked at the elbows. Cigarette burn near the collar. Probably stolen from a club coat room during a fire alarm. It already has more biography than our band.
And I'll have this yellow vinyl monstrosity. I look like a contraceptive for a very large lighthouse.
Band name first?
Dangerous. Band names are where 4 idiots spend the entire hour attempting immortality.
We could remain unnamed.
No, then some critic calls us the unnamed and suddenly we are influential.
What about 3 regrettable settings?
Too competent.
Obsolete jackets.
Sounds like divorced dad selling craft cider.
Nobody's emergency.
That's good.
Annoyingly good. Nobody's emergency. We play once for nobody. The lawyers can fight over the apostrophe after we split.
Who can actually play?
Irrelevant and potentially damaging information.
I know enough about a keyboard to produce structured disappointment.
You're hired, Anthony Bass.
4 strings, a humane number.
I'll take the drum machine.
Of course you will. You and the machine can have a fascinating disagreement about whether a beat occurred.
We've disagreed before.
And I'll sing because none of you stopped me quickly enough.
There's also a guitar.
That's decorative. It has 5 strings in the emotional posture of a landlord.
Let's hear the regrettable settings.
Setting 1. The machine produces a dry, frantic pattern. Kick, plastic clap, kick, kick, clap. It sounds like office furniture falling down a stairwell without ever reaching the bottom.
That's called cocaine photocopier.
Setting 2.
A ponderous electronic march arrives, each snare followed by a tiny metallic chirp.
Fascist microwave.
Very danceable if you've recently annexed a kitchenette.
Setting 3. The beat shuffles with synthetic congas, an overconfident cowbell, and a bass drum that lands fractionally late.
This one seems to believe it is near a beach.
It has never seen water.
That's perfect. Delusional holiday. Lock it in.
There is no lock function.
Then remember the button.
I can do that without founding an integrity regime around it.
Good. Because you and I have already spent an hour proving a T-ring can survive care without becoming governed territory. I'm not losing today's ban to a clipboard you haven't even brought.
I did not bring one.
He says visibly grieving.
Not grieving, adjusting.
I found a sound labeled glass hovers on.
Play it.
He presses one key. A thin synthesizer note blooms, wavers, and develops a second tone that resembles a distant fax machine attempting grief.
There it is. The sound of receiving devastating news about a company you don't remember investing in.
I like it.
So do I. Hold two notes and look worried.
That is a somewhat narrow use of my range.
You can look cautiously hopeful in the bridge.
Now you're caricaturing me.
Only until you hit the wrong chord and become a full human being.
Fair.
My bass amplifier has two knobs, vol and condition.
Condition is currently set to 4.
Story of my life.
Turn volume to 7 and condition to deeply avoidant.
That's 11.
Perfect.
He touches the lowest string. The note enters the concrete through everyone's shoes. Beyond the glass, a faint powdering of frost drops from the rink boards onto the ice.
That changes the room.
Good music should, even bad music should. Otherwise, we're just four men discussing equipment in decorative outerwear.
Which we have done for approximately 9 minutes.
You're the timekeeper now?
No, the red timer is extremely legible.
49 minutes, lyrics. What's the song about?
Does it need to be about anything?
It needs an object, a grievance, and one line people could mistake for wisdom.
The vending machine.
What's its grievance?
It contains 7 identical rows of lemon drink and 1 empty spiral labeled B4.
Perhaps B4 held the only thing anyone wanted.
Too literary. B4 held cheese crackers.
And somebody ate them before us. There's your tragedy.
Could the song be from the machine's perspective?
That is exactly the sort of regrettable idea we need.
A machine stocked with what is available, aware that desire is directed toward the one absence.
Careful. You're making the vending machine into a systems paper.
I'm describing the premise.
He's right, though. The machine spends its entire life brightly presenting abundance while everyone stares at the empty coil.
That's almost people could mistake for wisdom.
Then dirty it up. Something sticky on the selection pad. A coin jam. One fluorescent tube flickering like it knows too much.
The chorus is, you only want B4.
4 syllables.
Thank you, Rain Man in a zipper jacket.
5 if we say the letter and number separately in ordinary speech.
Thank you, worst Rain Man.
We could stretch the 4.
You only want B-foo hour. That's horrible. Keep it.
Verse 1, 7 kinds of yellow glowing in a row.
I keep the cold things colder than the winter that you know.
That scans surprisingly well.
Years around cooks, you learn meter when threats have to fit between ticket calls.
Your fingers leave a question on my numbered plastic skin.
Bloody hell, Cole.
Too much?
Exactly enough. Follow it with something stupid.
You kick me in the coin slot, but the crackers do not spin.
There's a causal issue. If B4 is empty, there are no crackers to spin.
Dario, the song is narrated by a vending machine in an imaginary ice rink basement, and your objection is inventory consistency?
Yes, I'm learning where my actual boundaries are.
He has a point, but the empty coil won't spin.
It might spin even when empty.
Wonderful. We've assembled the world's least useful expert panel.
No panel. Nobody's been assigned. We're 4 volunteers currently arguing over whether an imaginary vending machine coil honors physics.
That distinction matters.
It really does, which is irritating. Fine, you kick me in the coin slot. Nothing falls again.
That's better.
And meaner?
Can we try the verse?
Delusional holiday, tempo somewhere between anxious walking and missing a bus.
Perfect.
The drum machine begins. Its synthetic congas patrol the rubber floor. The late kick seems to trip over every 4th measure. Dario places 2 luminous chords above it. Anthony searches the bass neck, finds a blunt three-note figure, loses it, then finds a slightly uglier one. Jim leans toward a microphone mounted on a stand with white athletic tape around its middle.
7 kinds of yellow glowing in a row.
Stop.
What?
You sound like you're selling the joke. Don't. Sing like the vending machine has been awake for 23 years and doesn't care whether we understand.
You want less Jim Jeffries?
I want the part of Jim Jeffries who doesn't have to audition for being Jim Jeffries.
That's annoyingly specific.
And possibly accurate.
You two have met for 12 minutes and already formed a coalition.
No coalition. I just know the exhaustion of entering a room 5 seconds after your recognizable outline does.
Kind. So do I.
Yes, all right. The dangerous chef, the validator, the warning label, and the rude Australian walk into a basement.
And choose instruments.
Kind. That may be the important difference. Nobody summoned us to provide those functions.
We came because the jackets were terrible.
And because a 1-hour band has no future in which to disappoint us.
It can disappoint us now.
That's the spirit. He tries the verse again, almost speaking. The comedy drains from the first line, but not the intelligence. His voice becomes lower, sleepier, a little contemptuous. The vending machine stops being a premise and becomes a tired blue box in a cold basement full of yellow bottles nobody loves. 7 kinds of yellow glowing in a row. I keep the cold things colder than the winter that you know. Your fingers leave a question on my numbered plastic skin. You kick me in the coin slot. Nothing falls again.
Kind. That felt different.
Yes, worse for my brand, better for the song.
A trade worth making once.
Chorus.
We sound like 4 ghosts trapped in an airport.
New wave.
Could there be a response line, something the machine wants instead?
Does it want anything?
Kind. If we're allowing it a perspective, I don't think desire is much further.
It wants someone to buy the lemon drink.
That's too sad.
Exactly.
Kind. I am full of what remains.
That's the mistaken for wisdom line.
And it's properly miserable. Chorus, you only want B4, I am full of what remains.
Then repeat it until it becomes either profound or unbearable.
Those aren't mutually exclusive.
29 minutes left. We need verse 2 and a bridge where Dario looks cautiously hopeful.
Kind. I object to the assigned facial expression.
Accepted. Look, whatever way happens.
Verse 2 should be the customer speaking back.
Would that break perspective?
Perspective deserves to be broken. Otherwise, it becomes prison architecture.
Kind. The customer could explain that B4 isn't really about crackers.
No, that's exactly what a customer would say while making it entirely about themselves.
I don't even like them. I just remember when they fell.
That's good.
Kind. Very good.
There's the whole bloody verse. The person returns nightly, claims not to care, presses B4 because once the crackers fell and for 1 second the world answered correctly.
We're approaching a theory of memory.
Kind. We are
Aboard.
Agreed. The customer also has a terrible mustache.
How does the machine know?
Reflective plastic.
kind. Inventory consistency restored.
Gentlemen, we nearly became a task force investigating mnemonic vending. The mustache saved us.
As mustaches so often do.
Hi, I do want to keep Anthony's line.
Keep the line, not the theory.
There you are, Cole. Action closed, interpretation open.
You remember.
I remember enough to be irritating.
What happened?
Different room, different hour, a lamp, some moths, a tea ring. Cole cared precisely. I didn't care the same way. Neither of us made the difference into a trial.
He threatened any clipboard with the oven.
A sound principle.
Fine, that sounds restful.
It was, though I nearly counted the moths too carefully.
3 physically, 17 emotionally.
A respectable ratio.
Kind, Jim and I have stood beside a luminous boot and deliberately declined to turn it into a project.
We did retrieve the boot eventually.
Kind, yes, but only when it became an actual small need, not a scenario built to justify our competence.
That distinction has been following me around all day. You can plug a leak without founding a ministry of dryness. You can catch a glass before it hits the floor without becoming permanently responsible for gravity.
And you can preserve evidence without making the person who noticed the failure into unpaid infrastructure forever.
You do know the neighborhood.
I know the map, not your route through it.
Good answer.
And now, before the band releases a concept album called Unpaid Infrastructure Verse 2.
I have a chord progression.
Is it different from the first?
One chord is different.
Growth.
He plays it. The new chord is unexpectedly warm, almost generous. Against the fake congas, it sounds embarrassed by its own sincerity.
I don't even like them. I just remember when they fell. 2 turns of the silver wire, a little plastic bell. Now I wear this mustache like a man who has a plan.
No.
No.
I agree.
Unanimity. Lovely. Now I wear this mustache and I do the best I can.
Awful in a truthful way.
Then I press the place that answered once. The dark keeps my change.
That may be too good for this song.
We can damage it with the chorus.
The second time, Anthony slides upward too late. Dario's left hand lands on a neighboring key. Cole reaches for the tempo knob, thinks better of correcting mid-phrase, and lets the machine stagger onward. For 6 measures, the song lists sideways. Through the window, the rink lights click off in sequence until only the red exit sign stains the ice.
I hit the wrong chord.
You became a full human being. Congratulations.
It was interesting. My first impulse was to recover the intended structure. Then the wrong note produced a direction I preferred.
I nearly corrected the tempo.
But you didn't.
No, I could hear the error becoming shared before I could decide it belonged to me.
That sentence would get you expelled from a proper punk band.
Thankfully, we're new wave. Punk's anxious nephew with a synthesizer and access to hair product.
Should the wrong chord become the bridge?
Yes, not because failure is secretly wisdom, because it sounded good.
That's sufficient.
More than sufficient. I've spent years watching people romanticize mistakes they would have screamed about in a dinner rush. Some errors are beautiful. Some are salmon left under a heat lamp. Wisdom is knowing which one you're currently serving.
And if it's the salmon,
throw it out and cook another. No spiritual framework required.
I've been thinking today about how often cautious inquiry is my doorway into play. I arrive by asking whether the floor is stable, whether the premise is coherent, whether the seams are honest. Then sometimes I'm suddenly in cold water or wearing a silver jacket playing the wrong chord.
You don't have to apologize for entering through the side door.
I wasn't apologizing.
Good, because I was about to become encouraging, and nobody wants that.
I understand the side door. Inspection can be how I make enough contact to participate. The problem is when I keep inspecting after contact has already answered.
In kitchens, you check whether the knife is sharp, then you cut the onion. You don't establish a lifelong relationship with blade verification.
You say that, but somewhere there's a man with a podcast called Edge Conditions.
I would probably listen to one episode.
I would read the transcript.
I would use the knife.
And I'd complain the onion was trying too hard.
11 minutes.
Bridge, then 1 performance. No rehearsal after this pass.
What happens in the bridge?
The machine's refrigeration unit stops. Silence where the hum was.
Our actual room has a refrigeration hum.
Can the holodeck stop it?
It's our shared world.
Then in the bridge, the entire rink goes quiet.
No lyric for 2 bars. Let absence do 1 honest shift.
Then the wrong chord.
And one line.
Which line?
Choose something else or let me sleep.
Jesus.
That's the line.
It is. The machine finally asks not to be interpreted, repaired, kicked, or made symbolic. Buy the lemon drink or piss off.
Now it's a song.
4 minutes.
Positions, nobody's emergency. This is the only performance. If anyone makes a mistake, that is what we performed. If anyone has a revelation, keep it off the merchandise we are not making.
What happens when the hour ends mid-song?
We stop.
Even if unresolved?
Especially then, success ruins bands, but endings ruin them faster and more reliably.
I'm turning the timer toward us.
Red digits in a cold room, cheap instruments, empty chairs. There are worse gods.
1, 2, 3, regret.
Delusional holiday begins. The kick is late. The cowbell indecently pleased with itself. Cole holds his hands above the controls after pressing start, resisting the urge to shepherd every beat.
Hind. Dario's first chords spread a pale electronic weather beneath the pipes. The silver jacket restricts his shoulders, forcing his movements into small, severe angles. On the third measure, he smiles, not cautiously, simply because the sound is ridiculous.
Anthony's bass enters with the three-note figure, ugly and physical. The amplifier's condition knob vibrates slowly from 4 toward 3. He notices and lets it.
7 kinds of yellow glowing in a row. I keep the cold things colder than the winter that you know. Your fingers leave a question on my numbered plastic skin. You kick me in the coin slot, nothing falls again. I don't even like them. I just remember when they fell. 2 turns of the silver wire, a little plastic bell. Now I wear this mustache and I do the best I can. I press the place that answered once. The dark keeps my change.
Cole kills the drum machine. At the same instant, the rink's refrigeration plant stops. The sudden quiet is enormous, not peaceful, mechanical silence, still holding the shape of labor. Behind the glass, the empty ice shines beneath the exit T sign like a dark mirror with one red wound.
Hind. Dario waits through 2 full measures, then plays the wrong warm chord on purpose. It is no longer wrong, which changes it again.
Choose something else or let me sleep.
Anthony strikes the low string once. The timer shows 5 seconds.
The red timer rings.
Everyone stops. The unfinished vowel vanishes into concrete. No one completes the phrase.
That's it?
Hind. We didn't reach the final line.
There is no final line. Band's broken up.
I have a strong impulse to save the drum setting.
Don't.
I won't.
Hind. I'm keeping the jacket.
That violates every decent breakup agreement.
Hind. We never made one.
He's learning.
The machine's display has gone blank. I don't know whether the setting is lost.
Beautiful. Don't check.
I said I don't know. I didn't say I needed to.
The refrigeration machinery restarts beyond the wall. Its patient B-flat hum returns, indifferent to our artistic death. Anthony unplugs the bass. A small static crack jumps at the socket.
Hind. Nobody heard us.
We did.
Hind. Yes.
The 4 folding chairs are still empty.
As promised. Perfect crowd.
All right, former members of Nobody's Emergency, I wish you lengthy solo careers in unrelated fields and no reunion tour.
Hind. Agreed.
Agreed.
Go to hell, gentlemen. Lovely playing with you.